Hi everyone, First Warn 5 meteorologist Melissa Meter here, and with another update for our First Warn weather day for severe weather as we head into this afternoon and into the evening hours. We have some new updates even after the noon show. Just coming in about 20 minutes ago, there's a new tornado watch until 7 p.m. for Nottoway County, Holt County, and Atchison County as well. So that continues until 7 p.m. We also have a new flood watch for most of our Kansas counties, or western Kansas counties, I should say. That will be Saturday afternoon to Sunday morning. So not today, but for Saturday afternoon and into Sunday morning. I think as we head through the day today and even by tomorrow morning, I think we're likely going to see more of these flood watches pop up across our area because we are watching the potential for very heavy rainfall Saturday night and into Sunday morning. So now we want to turn our attention to mainly what is happening right now and what we could see happen as we head into the course of the later afternoon hours and into the evening. Satellite and radar right now has us in a lull in the activity, which we expected as we're watching a dry line move in from our west at this time. And you can see that dry line is triggering rain and thunderstorms with rapid development just off to our northern Kansas areas and into southern Nebraska at this time, south of the I-80 corridor. So we are seeing these storms ramp up very quickly along this dry line, and we're likely going to continue to see them move east, northeast. And if you look a little bit down south towards the Longford area too, we'll get a little pointer here. If you could see this, some of this is increasing cumulonimbus clouds as the cumulus are building along this dry line, which could trigger rain and thunderstorm development as well. So we're going to be watching this as it's going to continue to develop over the next couple of hours or so and push towards the east northeast. This is what we could see as for our threats for severe weather. Damaging winds, hail, a few tornadoes are possible as well. So we are seeing some clearing too, which is clearing in the cloud cover, I should say. Let me get my mouse back. Clearing in the cloud cover. And so just along western Topeka, you could see more of that gray ground towards Manhattan. So we're seeing clearing skies. Now, some concern with this potential severe weather event was whether or not the cloud cover and the dry line and the system was going to move quick enough to be able to be conducive in that juicy environment for those severe storms to form or to be able to be triggered. So we're starting to see the cloud cover move away. This dry line is moving into the area. It's triggering rain and thunderstorms. So as we continue through the evening hours, as we continue to see sunshine mixing of the atmosphere as well, is when we're going to see that threat for severe weather move into the area. So I want to take a wider look too at this. So at this time, there's nothing happening in our area. The KCTV 5 viewing area, things are quiet, things are calm. It is a little bit breezy out there. We could see wind gusts up to about 45 miles per hour as we head through the afternoon hours today, but we are starting to see some of that clearing in that cloud cover, and maybe a little bit of an isolated shower is starting to form, looking like towards the St. Joseph area. Otherwise, we are looking dry at this time. It's the lull in the activity at this time, and then as we start to see the dry line push storms in from our west, we could see that threat for severe weather. And I do want to point out too that these storms are rapidly intensifying. When I was looking at the storm that's just in the Beatrice area about, I think Chief Meteorologist Luke and I were discussing before I came on to this stream, about 20 minutes ago, these storms rapidly intensified in about 20 minutes. So once these storms go, they can rapidly intensify and bring those severe weather threats. And we have seen that occur too as they just have a tornado warning for the Beatrice area, not in our area, but for Beatrice in Nebraska. So we are seeing these storms fire up to our west at this time. So, and it looks like we might just have gotten a new flood watch for Johnson County. As I mentioned, we were likely going to see those added. Yes. Okay. So here is the latest information regarding this flood watch for the afternoon and into Saturday afternoon and into our Sunday afternoon. So flood watch across majority of the area, not for northern areas at this time, but I think that could probably change as we head into tomorrow. Okay. We are going to move back to our satellite and radar. And then we're going to take a look at the severe threats as we head through the course of the afternoon. So this afternoon, evening, I think as these storms are firing up, it's about 1:30, about 2 o'clock right now. So I think over the next 2 hours, we could see that activity building in from our west start to move into our area. So that puts us around the about 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock time frame when we could start to see some of that storms being triggered into our area or drifting into our area at that time. So we will continue to see the threat for severe weather and storms as we head through the evening. I think most of the activity should be done by midnight. So we're looking like 3 to midnight is going to be that overarching time frame this evening when we could see that threat for severe weather. So a few tornadoes are possible. Large hail to very large hail is also possible with any storms that fire up, and we could see 2+ inch in diameter hail. So that's about the size of a hen egg or larger. So we do have a significant threat for that hail. Also damaging winds, about 70 miles an hour, 60 to 70 miles an hour are possible with these storms moving through the area. So I'm going to pull this through to show the tornado risk, and I think this is not the latest update. Let me go in and edit this. Give me 1 second as we saw new information from the Storm Prediction Center just a bit ago. So let's take a look. Make sure this is correct. Yes, this is correct. Okay. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay. This is correctly giving the latest information. Okay. So, back to what we were talking about with severe threats. So here is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center regarding the tornado risk. So this is in that yellow hatched area that we have been talking about, was extended down from through the Kansas City metro area down to Garnett, to our southern counties. That has thus been lifted up towards the northeast, so mainly seeing more of that towards northern areas north of the I-70 corridor for that better chance for rotation in those supercellular discrete cells that could form. However, with that being said, that's where the best risk is, but we still have the risk across the rest of the Kansas City viewing area, the KCTV 5 viewing area. So today's a day where you make sure that you have your severe weather plan in place and your safe place determined in the event that you need to use it. So we also have the threat for hail, and we can see that we have that significant, that hatched and red for the hail, so about a 30% hail risk with significant hail possible. So that's that 2+ inch hail that we had talked about being about the size of a hen egg or larger possible. So these are all the threats that we could see, along with damaging winds 60 to 70 miles an hour. And also we could see some potential for flash flooding with very heavy downpours in some of these isolated thunderstorms. So as we play this out for you, here we are at 1 o'clock. So we're just past 1 o'clock. I think this model is doing an okay job. There has been some discrepancies between our models over the last several runs because some, as I had mentioned, we were talking earlier about how the cloud cover and the speed of the low pressure system and the dry line moving through can cause the discrete cells from missing the ample opportunity to form as we head into the evening hours. So it's been kind of conducive on whether this cloud cover has been moving out of the area, if the speed of the dry line and the low pressure system is right at the right speed. And so we are seeing clearing in the skies. We're also seeing that dry line move into the area, and we're seeing rapid intensification of those storms that are in portions of southern Nebraska at this time. So I think this model is doing an okay job showing the formation of some of those cells along the dry line that's just to our west, as you could see in the green little isolated cells to our west in our area. So as we play this through, this continues to push as we head into the mid-afternoon hours. I was talking about that time frame between about 3 to 5 when we could start to see this pushing into our area based on what I'm seeing now, not what the model is showing. So as we head into this afternoon and into the evening hours, I think our evening commute could be impacted with rain and thunderstorms and the potential for severe weather. So please keep that in mind as you're heading home from work this evening. And so as we continue through this, isolated cells are going to be possible moving through the area as we head into the 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock hour. So prime time when we're heading home from work, we're getting out, we're walking the dog. So please make sure that you have that First Warn 5 weather app to give you the latest alerts, weather alerts, or warnings or watches that will be or could be distributed as we head through the evening and into the overnight hours. So continuing to see this push through as we head through the evening hours, continuing past dinner time, and then we start to lose the juice from the atmosphere when the sun sets and that dry line starts to push out of the area. So I think we start to dry out by the time the midnight hour comes around, and things are going to be quiet as we head into the overnight hours tonight. Can't rely on an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but I don't think we're going to see a whole lot happening tonight while we're sleeping. I'm going to take a look to see if there are any questions regarding today because I want to focus mainly on today. And let me take a look. All right. Okay. So we have some questions about what time the storms could be in the Kansas City area. So storms are firing up right now to our west. I'll show that one more time. I think storm development along our western counties could be between the 3 and the 5 o'clock hour. So with that being said, our western counties eventually drifting towards the east, northeast. I think that puts us between the 5 and the 8 o'clock hour for Kansas City. However, if this line moves a little bit quicker, or if it moves a little bit slower and slows down, then we could see those timings impact. So I think through the evening around dinner time until the sun sets, we see that threat for that severe weather in the Kansas City metro area. Okay. There have also been a few. Robert asks about tomorrow. I'll get to that in just a second. Few questions too about a tornado watch in the Kansas City metro. So at this time, the Storm Prediction Center has put out the watch for the northwestern counties. And this is generally associated with the activity that's going on right now, that tornado activity in the southeastern Nebraska areas. We could start to see these storms push into our northwestern counties along the northern border if we just pull this over a little bit. So as you can see, we're seeing additional development in terms of cumulus clouds, cumulus towers, which could eventually turn into those thunderstorms and severe storms. So down by the Palmer area, I'd mentioned. So I think as we head into the evening hours, depending on mainly with the new SPC outlook with that tornado risk. I'll pull this up too. This tornado risk, the newest tornado risk, that's for tomorrow. Hold on. That's mainly shifted that significant risk, the better risk to the north. I think there is the possibility for a tornado watch to be extended, but the better threat at this time is mainly for the northern areas where they're in that yellow hatch significant area. But 5% tornado risk still remains for the rest of us, so we cannot rule that out. We cannot rule out a tornado as we head through the evening. Just because we're not in that tornado watch does not mean that threat for tornadoes as we head into the couple hour time frame from now doesn't mean that we could not see the addition of a few counties or the additional tornado watch. So all of that comes from the Storm Prediction Center. So we will continue to keep you updated if any more watches, tornado watches or flood watches are continued to be put out as we head through the evening hours. Okay, so I'm now going to move on to our tomorrow threat. So let's move on. Okay. So tomorrow we see another threat for severe weather, mainly it's looking a little bit more like the afternoon, late afternoon hours now and into the overnight. A few tornadoes remain possible, damaging winds possible, large hail, heavy rainfall, mainly Saturday night into Sunday morning, and that flooding threat. And I talked about too that there is now a flood watch for majority of the area Saturday afternoon and into Sunday morning. So we have this threat for all modes of severe weather tomorrow. Tornado risk for tomorrow is across much of the western half of our viewing area. So that includes Kansas City, Olathe, the Kansas side of our counties. See that more significant 10% risk for rotation within the storms that develop in those areas. Still that tornado threat for our eastern counties, like places like Chillicothe, Marshall, Sedalia, and Clinton. So still see the tornado risk as we head into tomorrow evening and into the overnight hours as well. And so with that being said, with the heavy rainfall potential tomorrow, additionally, we see large hail potential too for tomorrow and damaging winds. Now, as we head into the overnight hours and into Sunday, we still see a severe weather threat for Sunday. And I'm doing Saturday and Sunday together because it's kind of a flow of one threat into another as we head into Saturday afternoon, into the overnight, and into Sunday. So we have the slight for our Sunday, and that is mainly throughout the course of the day, anything lingering in the morning, and then we could have some scattered storms, severe weather potential as we head into the afternoon and evening hours on Sunday too. So we still see all threats for severe weather possible, but this is a 2 out of 5 risk rather than the 3 out of 5 risk that we are seeing today and on Saturday. So a lesser risk for that severe weather as we head into Sunday. I'm now going to time this out for us. And we're going to start out because I think a majority of Saturday morning is going to be quiet. Saturday morning, it's going to be quiet. Likely going to see some warm weather, breezy to windy conditions. And then in the afternoon, we start to see scattered rain and storms start to form across the area. I think as we head into the later afternoon hours, that's when we could start to see that possibility for that severe weather. I think we're going to see a few rounds as we head into tomorrow as well. So first round, possibly in the afternoon. And then as we head into the dinner time hours, we'll start to pull some from our northwest and move across the area. And then as we start to set up to go into the overnight hours, we see more of those darker reds, those magenta colors. That's what we're going to be looking at for heavy rainfall, and also the potential for that severe weather continues through the overnight hours tonight. So overnight hours on Saturday night. This continues to move across the area. You could see down towards Clinton, Butler, Sedalia, Warrensburg, that really pink magenta. We could see that heavy rainfall with those storms as well. And I will continue to play out through the overnight, Saturday night into Sunday. Still seeing rain and thunderstorms moving through the area, that threat for severe weather. As we head into Sunday morning, lingering activity is possible with rain and thunderstorms in the area. And then as we head into the course of the afternoon, we could get another lull in the activity. And then we'll start to see more scattered activity form as we head into the mid-afternoon and into the evening hours. And then eventually we'll start to see this whole system move out of the area by the time we head into Sunday night. So Sunday, still that severe weather threat across the KCTV 5 area for possibly anything lingering in the morning hours, but also in the afternoon and into the evening. I do want to touch on too the potential for flooding, as we have that flood watch Saturday afternoon and into our Sunday morning. We have seen several areas that have reported since midnight, like 11 hours ago, midnight till now, over an inch of precipitation. And so this takes into account, think about the inch of precipitation from today, but also additionally between now and Saturday, we could see anywhere between a quarter to about an inch of additional rainfall. So I think as we head into Saturday night, Sunday morning, that's when we see the heaviest potential for that rain. And as we watch this model be played out, we see heavy rainfall fall, at least in the southeastern half of our area. So I think anywhere, I'm going to put a blanket statement out for additional totals. I think 2 to 3 inches between now and Sunday is more likely than not for majority of the area. However, I think higher amounts could be possible to our southeastern counties like Warrensburg, Clinton, Butler, Harrisonville, those areas. So please be mindful on the roadways, especially because there is that potential for flash flooding in the area. We always like to say turn around and don't drown. So I'm going to take one more look at any questions that we may have regarding what we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days. Then I'll go back, do a quick little refresh about today, and then I will send you all on your way, and then we'll have continued coverage about the severe weather threat at the 3:30, the 4, the 5, the 6, and the 10 on KCTV 5, but also we will be able to cover you here on social as well as on streaming. So I'm going to look at one more question, a few more questions, and then recap what we have talked about for today. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Savannah says, will tonight's storms be super scattered in nature? Some are saying that half the people won't even see any rain. So yes, the storms today are going to be isolated to scattered. I'm going to pull back up our forecast tracker to show you. This is not going to be widespread coverage. We're not thinking it's going to be widespread coverage tonight. Isolated to widely scattered activity is going to be possible as we watch the potential for some isolated discrete supercells to form in the area. So I'm going to play this out for you one more time. And we see isolated activity, not totally widespread as we head into the afternoon, the later afternoon and into the evening hours. So not everybody is going to see rain. Not everyone will see a thunderstorm. However, the entire environment in the KCTV 5 viewing area is conducive for the severe weather and for those thunderstorms to form. So I don't think we're going to see widespread rain and thunderstorms form across our area, more isolated to widely scattered. This is more isolated in nature that we're looking at right now. And so as we head into the evening hours, we lose that fuel from the day, we lose that daytime heating, we lose the sunshine. And I think that's going to start to have those storms die down or move out of the area to limit the development of them as we head into the overnight hours tonight. So once again, to recap, damaging winds, large hail to very large hail possible as we head through the evening hours tonight, the late afternoon, evening hours. A few tornadoes are possible. Some could be strong. And so you're going to want to make sure you have your severe weather safety plan in place. Also the Firstborn 5 weather app to give you the latest updates and any weather alerts that you may need. And we are starting to see storms start to fire along a dry line that is just to our west at this time. So that is moving through from Lincoln, Nebraska down to the Noble area, but we're also seeing development of cumulonimbus clouds to the south of that firing along the dry line. So I think we continue to see the development of rain and thunderstorms along this line, and we'll continue to push into our western Kansas counties first possibly, and then eventually across the area they hold together. So we still have that tornado watch for our far northwestern counties, and that is going to be associated mainly with that line that's forming in Nebraska down to portions of northern Kansas as it lifts towards the northeast. That continues until 7 p.m. And so with that, I am going to show this one more time. We see the clearing. Okay, so I'll get my little pointer out. So the dry line is to our west. It's near the Concordia area, just past Concordia. And as we can see, we're starting to see rain and thunderstorms starting to be triggered and developing. We've seen rapid development with this storm that's moved into southern Nebraska as it's gone over the last hour or so. So if any storms develop. They could develop quickly, move quickly as well. So we just want to make sure everybody's got their severe weather safety plan in place and that First Warn 5 weather app. And with that, I will let you all go as we have given you the latest information. I'll be back on KCTV 5 at 3:30. And then Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris and Warren Sears will be here through the remainder of the evening, and they will continue to keep you up to date on streaming, social, and on television as well.